Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell, and I apparently am a domestic terrorist, at least according to Dirty Harry Reid, Senator from Nevada. In this week's episode, I'm going to explain everything that I know about what has transpired out at the Bundy Ranch. And but before I do that, I want to take care of a little piece of business. Last week, we had a little marathon episode of The Truth is Viral on Google Plus Live, and during that marathon I had asked for donations to get me out to the Bundy Ranch so that I could report live. Well, the standoff ended before I could go. I had just bought my ticket, a non-refundable ticket, so I was out that $464. But the rest of the donations, I had asked for them specifically to go out to the Bundy Ranch. So I contacted each person individually and I asked them, would you like a refund? Because, folks, I'm not in this for the money. If that were the case, I could upload 30 seconds worth of jiggling boobies or girls in bikinis and I'd be making a mint. I just need to be able to get to where I'm going. But anyway, to a person, everybody said, Bobby, just go ahead and keep your donations. You're doing a great job. Just put it towards, expenses for The Truth is Viral. All except for this one young lady. And she said to me, I want you to take the money that I sent you and I want you to buy your wife some flowers. God bless you. She is really going to enjoy that. This is one request that I am absolutely thrilled to fulfill. Yes, sir, this is one request I'm happy to grant. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much this is going to mean to her. I can tell you right now she's going to cry. I'm going to give this to her at the end of the show. So you might want to stick around for that. Let's get right to it, shall we? Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell, and we've got some more goings on out at the Bundy Ranch I need to update you guys on. On April 13th, I published an episode of The Truth is Viral that questioned how easily BLM agents were run off of the Bundy Ranch. Never before has the federal government ever turned and run from a fight, and believe me, that sets a huge and dangerous precedent. That show was based on a report by investigative journalist Doug Hagman, who said that a highly placed source inside the Department of Homeland Security told him that the BLM withdrawal was a fake and they intended to return with greater numbers. Hagman also stated that his DHS informant told him that the first raid on the Bundy compound was an exercise designed to determine what kind of resistance the government will face should gun confiscations begin. Now, the very next day on Ben Swann's radio program, Sheriff Richard Mack of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association revealed that he had also received intelligence from multiple credible sources inside the BLM and Las Vegas Metro, saying that there is no question that the federal government is planning a second raid on the Bundy home and the homes of their children who also live on the property. Harry Reid doesn't think it's over either, and he said so in this interview with MyNews4.com.
Well, it's not over. We can't have in America people that violate the law and just walk away from it. So it's not over.
And then Dingy Harry doubled down by calling everyone that supports the Bundys domestic terrorists in this interview published by the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
I've spoken to Sheriff Gillespie in detail. I've spoken to the Attorney General, Eric Holder, in detail. I've spoken to James Comey, the head of the FBI, in detail. Talked to him yesterday. I've talked to the Secretary of Interior yesterday. And it's an issue that we cannot let go and just walk away from it. Keep in mind what happened up there. There were hundreds of people from around the country that came there They had sniper rifles on the freeway. They had assault weapons. They had automatic weapons. And as one of the former sheriffs from Arizona said, and we had children and women lined up because if anybody got hurt, we wanted to make sure they got hurt first because we wanted the federal government hurting women and children. This is the deal, and it's not a good one. So these people who hold themselves out to be patriots are not. They're nothing more than domestic terrorists.
How can the government let domestic terrorists run free? Oh my gosh. They're going to have to do something, or they're going to lose all credibility in the eyes of even the most ardent Obama supporters. Judging by the comments left by liberals around the blogosphere, the progressive left is fully in support of squashing the Bundys like bugs. Some have even suggested that they be struck with drones. That's something Obama's pretty good at these days. Matter of fact, he's doggone proud of it, isn't he? Well, since that initial information came out, both Mack and Hagman have said that the publicity generated by their reports had caused the federal government to go back to the drawing board. Apparently what they've done is call for reinforcements, because the last time the federal government stood toe-to-toe with patriots, they were badly outgunned and a massacre was narrowly avoided. I need to reiterate here that backing down from a group of armed protesters makes the federal government look extremely weak. This is something that the entire world has come to realize about Barack Obama, that he is the weakest president this country has ever had the misfortune of seeing in office. Even though it was really al-Qaeda terrorists that used chemical weapons in Syria and not Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Obama was seen as womanly by the Arab world when he did not take action once his so-called red line was crossed. Right now, the rest of the world is watching and laughing at the weakness of Barack Hussein Obama as Russian President Vladimir Putin bends him over on the world stage and spanks him viciously nearly every single day. Obama's a joke, and the whole world sees it. Now the American people are seeing it too. And being the malignant narcissist that he is, Obama just cannot let that stand. He cannot allow a few brave patriots to stand up against him and succeed. He will be back. A video posted yesterday by Freedom Fighters 2127 News claimed that a source in Las Vegas had been told by a law enforcement officer that there were about 140 agents in Las Vegas, where the government has set up a staging area for a second, more forceful raid on the ranch. The video goes on to say that Las Vegas hotels are being filled with federal agents, Rangers, and FBI that are arriving in unmarked vehicles. Jay, Freedom Fighters source, said that the vehicles are being parked in secure areas and parking lots in the Las Vegas area. Jay says this does not include those agents who may be flying in to take part in the raid. Now, this coincides with my investigation that I published on the 13th, which included a phone call to the Holiday Inn in Mesquite, Nevada, which is just miles from the Bundy Ranch in Bunkerville. Now, every time that I mentioned the phrase alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, or ATF, the Holiday Inn desk clerk hung up on me. And you can listen to those phone calls by clicking this link right here. Now, today, I've received brand new video from one of my spies in Las Vegas that seems to confirm that federal agents are indeed massing in Sin City. This video shows federal agents in the bar of a hotel bragging about past exploits and warning about bad breaches. I would say that the Bundy Ranch was an example of a bad breach. My spy also took a tour of the hotel's parking facility and managed to capture their vehicles on video. With me now is the man that took that video, and he's going to tell us what he heard those agents talking about in the bar. Welcome, Las Vegas spy. How you doing today, brother?
Just living the dream, brother.
Living the dream. Okay. When you were in the bar and you saw those agents talking, what were they saying? What gave you the first idea that they were, in fact, federal agents?
Apart from the overall look of them, I have to say that I initially went down there just to confirm what 2127 and Jay had posted on the web, and so I showed up and decided to kind of take a seat in the back near a television where I could watch sports, and started listening in on their conversations. And really started piquing my interest and made me really start paying attention was when I heard one of the young gentlemen speaking about a raid with a man who is now the director of the Park Ranger Service in California somewhere. And what really caught my attention was when I heard the words, we breached through the door, and there were shots fired coming at us, and we returned fire, and there was blood everywhere. It was a huge mess, and I heard, laughter and slapping on the back, and that's when my ears really began to peak up a little bit, and I started to really pay attention to what they were saying. And I was getting eyed over a little bit by the gentlemen that were sitting at the bar. So I got up, went and got me a glass of water, got a bag of potato chips, came and sat back down, and continued looking at sports and started listening some more. And during this conversation, there were people coming and going, and I took it upon myself. This might not be a bad time to go ahead and document these people's faces and listen in on what they're saying. And I guess apparently they were having a going away present for one of the gentlemen. They gave him what looked like a kind of like a walking cane, and it's like your standard geriatric style 4-prong walker. And a guy came down, he had it in his hand, and then everybody started clapping, and that's about when I started recording. And they said it's a going away present, oh, that's fun. And one guy jokingly said, it's a new walker. It's got the 4-pronged assault. You gotta show your AARP card now when you go through the door. And then the next guy kind of laughed, and he said, yeah, now you got to figure out where the mag well is. He said, definitely it would be great if you could hit it all with one button, or somebody else were able to pull the trigger for you. And about that time, I was able to flip the camera over a little bit, and I was getting eyed at pretty heavily, so I just kind of stopped recording, put my phone down, listened for a little bit longer, and they were joking and drinking. Everyone was having a great time, and I heard a couple of the ladies mentioning something about missing home and just ready to go ahead and get this over with and get back home. And about that time, I decided, you know what, I might as well go ahead outside and document the vehicles. And that's when, when I first showed up, I wasn't able to get into the parking garage because at the hotel that they're staying at, you have to have a key card, and I'm not a guest there. So I drove around to another spot and was able to park on the outside, went inside. The whole thing transpired with the gentleman and with the group that was inside, and I went out through the back to where you could get access to the pool, and went through the parking garage and started filming the vehicles at the parking garage. And they're all masked on the bottom floor. I went up to the second floor to see how many other vehicles were up there, and I only saw one marked Park Ranger Service police vehicle. Then went back down, and they've got SUVs, unmarked and marked, and trucks and cars in there. They're all parked on the bottom floor.
Okay, well, how many total vehicles did you see in that one parking garage?
There was more than a dozen. So I'm going to say in between a dozen and 20. Just without looking at the video right now, there was at least a dozen, because they were lined up on both sides.
Okay.
Of the parking garage.
When getting back to the conversation inside the bar, did you ever hear them say anything in particular about going back to the Bundy Ranch?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, I understand you're going back to Las Vegas to take some more video for us. Brother, stay safe. I do appreciate everything that you're doing. And I will talk at you later. Give me a call if you hear anything new.
Absolutely, brother. I'll update you with the new one.
Thank you. Hoorah. Thanks, Semper Fi. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, members of Stewart Road's Oath Keepers, And the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association are still encamped around the Bundy Ranch. And there are also hundreds of militia members there with them from around the country. And calls have gone out for reinforcements that will be expected to stand and possibly fight a much larger attacking force than we saw the last time. Now, if Doug Hagman's source inside the Department of Homeland Security is correct, that part of the motivation for the initial raid was to gauge the reaction of the American people, I think that they got their answer. The American people have had enough. The federal government could have simply filed a lien against Cliven Bundy's estate and collected whatever they claimed that he owed when he died. But instead, they surrounded the Bundy Ranch with militarily equipped, specially trained federal agents, attacking the Bundy family with dogs, tasing Bundy family members, and setting up snipers on surrounding hillsides. Again, the American people have had enough of that kind of federal brutality. We saw it at Waco, we saw it at Ruby Ridge, and we will not tolerate another instance like this. Now, please don't misunderstand me, okay? This is not a threat, simply an observation. If there is a second armed federal raid on the Bundy Ranch, there will be bloodshed, lots of bloodshed. And I guarantee that many of the dead will include federal agents, because the militias that are now protecting the Bundy Ranch have snipers too. I would like to speak directly to any federal agent that might be part of a second raid on the Bundy Ranch in particular, and to federal agents in general. You know that this is wrong. I was just following orders didn't work for the Nazis in Nuremberg, and it's not going to work for you now. There is ample evidence that Harry Reid is lining his pockets and the pockets of his family members through the seizure of state lands by the Bureau of Land Management. Now, I want you to remember that when you kiss your wife and your children goodbye the morning of the raid, that you may very well be killed so that this lying animal, Harry Reid, can profit monetarily. He really thinks that that land belongs to him, not the federal government, to him. Just look at his body language in this interview with KLNV.
They weren't going to collect money. They were going to get the cattle off the land as ordered by 2 federal courts.
Yeah, but to march an army in there to do that.
There was no army. The army was the 600 people.
Acres. Cut off 300,000 acres, telling people you have no access to these roads.
And that land, that 300,000 acres, federal land, public lands, has been basically decimated. That 300,000 acres, federal land, public lands, that 300,000 acres, federal land, public lands.
Now, do you really want to die for a federal government that doesn't care about you or your family? That was proven when Obama refused requests by flag and general officers of the United States military who wanted to save Ambassador Christopher Stevens in Benghazi. Obama told them to stand down, leaving the ambassador and our SEAL brothers to twist in the wind and die at the hands of the merciless savages of Ansar al-Sharia. Do you really want to die for Eric Holder, a man who is still in contempt of Congress 2 years after refusing to provide information over Operation Fast and Furious, which resulted in the death of one of your brother's federal agent, Brian Terry? Do you really want to die for Harry Reid, one of the dirtiest politicians that Washington, D.C. has to offer today? I don't want you to die for them. What can you do? It may seem like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, I guess maybe you kind of are. We all are, but we've got decisions to make. You can quit. Just don't be part of it. Stand up. Be a man and tell your superiors that you think it's wrong. Tell them that you won't have any part of it. And you can call me and tell me your story. Become a whistleblower and help me expose the truth about Barack Obama's agenda to subject this country to a state of absolute despotism. My brothers, you took the same oath that I did. You took the same oath that the patriots facing you at the Bundy Ranch did. Why do you think that these men have converged on the Bundy Ranch from all over the country? They're standing up for honor, for decency, and the rule of law. Failure to pay grazing fees is not a capital offense in the United States of America, and any attempt to make it so is an attack on common decency and the American way of life. The American people will not let that stand. You are honor-bound to uphold that oath and refuse to obey any unlawful order. If you forsake that oath and fire on American citizens when the facts of the case are extremely shady, you can expect that fire to be returned. Nobody wants that. I know that you don't want it. I know that at least one of you told journalist Dennis Michael Lynch that you did not want to be pointing your weapon at the Bundys. So what's the answer? Don't do it. Problem solved. I'll keep all of you in my prayers. Everybody involved in this. There's no reason that anybody has to die. And it would be a real shame if people died because of lies. You guys, as a whole, are just awesome, and individually, some of you have done some really wonderful things. For example, as I said, I had asked for donations to help get me out to the Bundy Ranch, but since that didn't happen, I offered the people that had donated, their money back, because I had raised money for one specific thing, and I didn't do it. And I want to be fair and honest, and I'm not trying to take anybody for a ride. If this was all about money, I could upload 30-second clips of teenage girls running down the beach, bouncing and whatnot, and I'd be a millionaire. This isn't about money. This is about love and trying to save people. And talking about love, every single one of the people that I contacted, the people that had donated to get me out to the Bundy Ranch, said keep the money. Just apply it to whatever you need. Except for one young lady. She was very insistent that I use her donation to buy my wife some flowers. And this being Easter Sunday, I picked out this nice little lily basket. And I'm going to give it to her in just a second. Just ahead of this marvelous, all Southern biscuit and gravy breakfast that I just made for her. So, she, how women are, and especially, as sick as she is, if I put her on camera, she'd kill me. But I am going to let the camera roll in, and you can listen to the surprise in her voice. She hasn't seen this yet. So, let's go do this. Honey, you ready to eat? Can you turn the TV down for just a second? I got something to tell you. My viewers are the best people in the world, right? Yeah. Well, one of them sent me a donation, and she asked that I buy these for you.
Oh, aren't they pretty? Pretty. Beautiful.
Isn't that awesome?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want me to put them?
There ain't nowhere to really put them.
How about if I put them over there next to the TV?
Because that's the box.
Hmm.
You don't want to sit in the box. Heat comes out of there, it'll just kill them quick.
Yeah.
Just have to put them out there.
Well, you can't see them though. How about if I rig up something right there and just put them on the edge of the bed? Or, no, look, I'll just move the cable box. I can do that. There, check your,
Does this work?
check it and see if it works. See, it works. Okay, good deal. Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Share this episode every way that you can. When you're on Facebook, don't just share it. Copy and paste it. Put it in each and every group to which you belong. That will extend our reach. And let's keep our eyes open, folks. If you've got the ability to get out to the Bundy Ranch and stand with these brave patriots, then do so. I understand that they're also running low on food. So maybe you can make a donation. Go to facebook.com/Bundy Ranch. That's the official page. And you can get all the straight scoop right from the horse's mouth, cow's mouth, from the Bundy's mouth anyway. And, we'll definitely keep them in our prayers too. So until next time, my name is Bob Powell. Thanks again for watching The Truth is Viral. And as always, God bless, Semper Fi, and Hoorah.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter at The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.
Smack, runner, your game is through. Smack, runner, I'm talking to you.